Hi, my name is Angel. Um, I am going to be showing off some of the behind the scenes stuff for the Cut the Air music video. I made this video over the course of a couple weeks in Adobe After Effects and Adobe Illustrator mainly. I thought that I would just, kind of record a lot of, what the workflow was like and a lot of the ideas that I had for it. And just show off the process a little bit because I think it's really fun and interesting. For the visuals for this video, I was really inspired by a feeling of chaos, surveillance, and kind of a conspiratorial mindset that I think maybe a lot of people feel. First off, I want to start by just showing off all of these assets that I made for the video. These are almost all totally by me. There's like a couple things here that were like fair use, like vector art, like this burger, you can kind of tell is like a, it doesn't like super match everything else, but it's funny, so I thought it was fine. So this is my Illustrator file. I love Adobe Illustrator. It's like one of my favorite like programs. I'm like a pen tool girly, so I spend a lot of time using the pen tool. These are just some of the screens that I made. Basically what I would do is I would design stuff in here and then I would export the assets individually and put them into After Effects as individual layers, and I can further edit them in here. So I edited this here. So this is like its own individual little shape that I made. This is my satanic transsexualism symbol. My strobe warning, of course. I ended up putting multiple strobe warnings in the video because strobe core will never die, but some people are photosensitive and I was a little bit worried. Please make responsible decisions as far as your strobe core consumption based on your own health history. So basically what, I put all of the layers in here and then I just added some effects, giving it more dimension. There's some grain on this, there's glow on it. You can see when I zoom in, like it looks a little bit different. It's surprisingly easy to make things that are flat just have more like texture and character to them. Literally just by adding like a grain layer, like an easy little shortcut that I take a lot of the time. This font is called Ballybold font. I really, really like Impact font. This is Impact font. This is a great font, and it honestly gets like a really bad rap because it's used in memes. This is usually how it looks in memes. This font is pretty ugly when it has like a stroke on it, but I think when it's just like the font with no stroke, I think it's really cool looking. But I ended up going with a font that is extremely similar called Ballybold. I love like a huge display font. So the thing about Ballybold is it's like like here and there, it's like a little bit rounder. You can see the difference here. This is my design for the end screen. So I just, I kind of put all my elements together here the way I want them. And then I put this into After Effects as a reference for the end screen. And then I have all of the assets from this. So each little shape here, I have all these exported separately. And then I just kind of line them up, make sure they line up with the reference. And then I go in and I, do little animations. So this is a Meteor logo that I designed for this video that I was really proud of. I love my little Meteor logo. I was just thinking a lot about, FF7, and I've always been very inspired by the logo art in Final Fantasy. It's just really beautiful, cool looking logos. So I was like, this is like my personal tribute to Final Fantasy VII. I was thinking for this video, I was thinking a lot about cyber dystopias and ecological disasters, and FF7 like really matches up with that. And so I actually have a sketch of this in my sketchbook, and basically I just used, the pen tool and the shaping tool to go in and just kind of make it perfect. And here I was brainstorming, what colorways I wanted to use. There's some really cute, colorful, and texturized versions here. I didn't end up using these at all, but You know, maybe they'll end up on a sticker sheet or something. I moved it into After Effects. In the final version, this is what it looks like. Very cool. This is, you know, here's the 3 group. I was really happy with how this like intro logo ended up looking. For this first section, what's going on here is we have the shape. And overlaid inside of or on top of the shape is what we call a fractal noise map. You can, you know, do a lot of shit to it to make it look like this. There's like all kinds of effects on this. This is a dynamic, progressive, linear fractal noise map with an evolution animation. So it's kind of just constantly changing. And I have it going really fast. And I also have this glass effect on it to give it this kind of red overlay. And there's like a little bit of glass texturizing there. And then that is track matted onto the logo, which basically just means that the map is only going to show up where the image is. That makes it look like this. Very cool. I was thinking, obviously, it's supposed to kind of evoke flames, but I didn't want it to be too literal. And I like, you know, I think we kind of get the feeling of burning without it actually literally looking like a burning ball of fire. And then on the next kind of composition layer, I added this glow effect. And the glow effect here is actually only glowing left and right. So it kind of gives it this cool cyber feeling. This is called an expression. So if you want to save a lot of time in After Effects, you basically want to program certain things to happen. So instead of you'd usually use keyframes if you're doing something very simple, but if you kind of need something to happen a lot and you don't want to literally program every single frame exactly what you want, you can use expressions. And this down here is an expression. I'm kind of a basic expression user. I barely remember. I mainly just use like wiggle. This is wiggle. So this first, so basically you have to write these in under the effect. And the first value, 5, is the amount of times that the value is going to change. So the value that's changing here 5 times per, what is it, per second? I'm pretty sure it's per second, is glow threshold. So that's, you know, that's just kind of manipulating what the glow is looking like. So 5 times per second, we're changing the glow threshold. And the second value is the amount that we want to possibly change it in any given direction, but it's going to be random. That's kind of what's making it flash and giving it that wiggly effect. And I use the wiggle expression all the time. It's like just a really easy way to like randomize things and like animate them to have a lot of life. There's actually multiple glow effects on this that are all different aspects of each glow effect are wiggling in different ways. So it gives it a lot of all this like dimension, and sometimes the color like really like, oh yeah, like this frame. I love this frame. Like you can see here, the color sometimes just like totally blows out. And I think that that is really important, like having those moments of extremes visually in the details and in lighting are kind of what helps it feel cyber to me. We use the screen blend mode to kind of layer it on there easier, and it gives it a little bit of transparency, which makes it look cool and cyber. Let's keep looking at assets. Total Meteoric Cyber Apocalypse, it's kind of like if I could condense like the visual concept of this music video down into one phrase. I was also considering using Total Meteoric Catastrophe Cyber Apocalypse. It just didn't look as good visually. It's like, this is just more readable. Sometimes it's better to be more brief. One major visual inspiration for this video, obviously, is the concept of warning signs, or red flags, or you know, hazard notices. And I was thinking and looking at a lot of like, just like utility, like road signage, or stuff that you would see in like on a construction site, or, you know, this kind of somewhat innocuous graphic design that we all see every day that we don't really ever think about. And I was, in order to make that the strobe, this like cool like strobe signage part of the video, I just like made all these, and these are all from my sketchbook. I just like would think of phrases throughout the day that I thought could be relevant thematically, or at least meeting the emotional temperature of the song and kind of how I felt about it. I love Notice You Are Right. This is like, I can't even explain what this means to me. It's a really powerful phrase. You are right. It's very powerful. It can do a lot of things, good or bad, to say that, or for someone to say that to you, or for you to say it to yourself. My friend really likes Notice I'm starting to think we aren't going to have sex. It's pretty funny. Notice New Haircut is also is kind of a winner. Sometimes you don't really need to make a diary entry or a journal entry. You can just write down one phrase that sums it all up. And this is one of those for me. So I was really inspired by caution signs. This, I love this basic caution sign. Shout out to all the cool Tumblr blogs that I got inspiration from for these like hazard symbols. This is a real hazard sign. This is an explosion hazard sign, which is very fucking cool. So I didn't design it, but I did make this. I did make this SVG file of it. This is our buggy caution symbol. This is death buggy caution. This is our hypno, sissy, and sissy hypno symbols. This is kind of a kit bash one that I made. This originally was a hazard symbol for breathing in toxic gas. I found this little bomb SVG, and I thought it would be funny if maybe he had a bomb inside him instead. And I thought that kind of matched the emotional tone of the video a little bit more. I'm really partial to this. I really like this one. Like, he kind of creeps me out. This one was made, and some of the like this like little panty SVG were kind of just made from like kit bashing, stuff that is just out there on the internet, free to use. Of course, this is our surveillance, and then we have our trans caution and our trans Satanist caution. These are some signs I made. I really couldn't decide between Cyberslop Infostorm and Psychoslop Cyberstorm. I asked around, and Cyberslop Infostorm ended up winning. This sign, danger, pathological, and demand avoidance, do not hire. This is also somewhat kit bashed. I found like these gun SVGs, and I found this guy. I don't remember where I found this, but I thought it was really funny. This was inspired by me quitting my job because I'm too autistic to follow directions. Just kidding. This is kind of important to me. I think about this one a lot. This hazard and certification, really enjoyed this one. Again, this is very kit bashed, but I was proud of it. I thought it was funny. And some of these literally only appear for a few frames in the video, but I thought that it was still worth it. This is Caution Buy One Get One Crispy Chicken Sandwich, which was a suggested sign from my friend Nathan. This is what the animation looks like. We're kind of basically rapidly cycling all of these notice signs, and we're using these little caution symbols, and here and there flashing some of the other caution or hazard signs. In my sketchbook, I made a little chart that says at 30 frames a second, which this video is technically 29.97, but whatever. At 30 frames a second, how long is a quarter note? How long is an eighth note or a 16th note? Based on the BPM of the song, and I just have it all charted out. If I want something to be going like da 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 da, those are 16th notes, right? I want this notice sign to be following the 16th notes. So what I was able to do is break it down into frame values and lengths of time for each individual, little flash. What's going on here is we just have a little notice sign. And I have a lot of on the left side here, I have a lot of strobe options because I was experimenting with how I wanted the timing to go. But right now we're using 16ths. So the strobe, that's a strobe period of 0.1 second and a strobe duration of 0.05 seconds. And what that does is it makes it line up with 16th notes, and it makes it look really cool. And then I just kind of have it repeated here based on what I need. We also got some glow on it. I use this constantly. Like half of this is, I mean, strobe core never dies. So there's a lot of this strobe light effect on like so many assets in this video just to kind of make them line up with the music in a really cool way. That's really mathematically precise, which I think is really the key to me for a satisfying, fun music video. Is like the timing has to be really perfect because your brain just absorbs it so much easier. I've always kind of had little visuals in my head when I listen to music, kind of a little bit. It's really nice to be able to make them real. Here's a fun little thing. There's a few little Easter eggs in this video. This is this is a flash frame, which is just like a white frame that appears for like a second, just like for like a big flash. But I used this post from the No Poo subreddit, which is a subreddit of people who do not use shampoo in their hair. It's pretty funny. And this is when it says, "When does it get better?" Which I feel like really says everything you could possibly want to ever know about that. You'll notice a lot of this is matched up with different instruments. So on this lead synth, we've got this dun 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 dun. We have this these caution signs that are kind of showing up behind the notice strobe. Bum, 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 bum. So basically the way that I lined those up was, this whole back section has a lot of shit like that. So basically what I did was I made a beat map. And this is not in the final video at all. I literally only made this. So you can see the star here is lined up with the lead, that like kind of lead instrument. This blue circle here is bass hits. And right now they're lined up, so it's the same thing. And then I have the shape change whenever the instrument kind of changes texture. And this little shape over here is indicative of this kind of like fuzzy, kind of like very strobe-y, audio-wise, kind of freak out noise. And on the left here, we have quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes. That's just for my own little reference if I need to make sure something is lined up right. But let's go to one of the instruments. So let's choose our... I just made a circle or a star or whatever. I literally, you can see at the bottom of the screen here, painstakingly, this took fucking forever, went in and lined up where every hit of that instrument is. And this isn't as hard as it looks. If you hold down Control and scrub, you get one frame of audio, basically. And you can kind of hear the dun, dun, dun. Right? Not too hard. Really tedious though. And basically, you know, here's all of it. Look at all that. Crazy, right? Is there a better way to do it? I don't know. I don't think so, but I wanted it to be perfect. If I wanted an element to strobe along with this instrument, I would copy all these layers. I would put them somewhere else, and then I would copy whatever I wanted to be strobing on that pattern, and I would match up the new element with the beat maps that I had already made. Dun, 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 dun. You can look at the bottom of the screen here. You can see, check all this out. And it's the same pattern. I just, you know, I kind of copied it and I replaced the element, basically. And that takes forever, but it's really rewarding. Everything is lined up like super perfectly. I did it for a lot of different areas of this video. Oh, of course, I basically did the same thing with the lyrics. This might be impact font, but it might be Bally Bold. I've done stuff like this in video projects in the past, where you kind of like rapidly strobe between two different videos and you get this really cool effect where your brain is kind of looking at both things at the same time, but without that kind of weird, lame effect you would get from it just being 50% opacity, 50% opacity. It is literally going back and forth just really rapidly. And it's pretty easy. It's a pretty easy effect to achieve. Basically, the top video layer that I want to show, which is buggy here, has a strobe effect on it. We got a lot of really fun, interesting stuff going on. There's kind of this weird flashing box that's moving around the screen, and that's like a wiggle expression, and some cool blend modes. Oh yeah, you can see all the video layers here. So kind of just, this took a long time to make look exactly how I wanted. It went through a lot of different versions. But I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I think it looks pretty fun, pretty cool. Let's look at the climax of this video, which is Total Meteoric Cyber Apocalypse. Total Meteoric Cyber Apocalypse is everything that is in this video all at the same time. We have a lot of wiggle expressions. We have a lot of fun, kind of clippy glow effects. Got a lot of fun blend modes going on. This section, I really wanted it to look basically like every single frame could be like a poster. We got these meteors from earlier, but they look a little bit different. They're blue now. This kind of marbly effect is happening because we have a turbulent displace on this notice sign asset. Turbulent displace is really fun. There's a lot of animation keyframes happening there. I think that's pretty much it. I hope this was interesting. Oh yeah, here's a cool frame. I just really wanted it to feel the way that I feel when I think about everything in the world all at the same time. I really got a lot of aggression out in this video in editing this. I wanted to make something that kind of like hurt you to look at it, but it was hard to look away from. And I'm excited to leave it all here. Stream, cut the air, strobe core will never die. Thank you.